I thank the grace of Heavenly Mother, compassion of Maitreya Buddha, Qigong Buddha, virtue of Patriarch, Sister and Simu, and also Grandmaster, Senior Master Li, and Junior Master Li, who allow me to have this opportunity to share this session. Thank you so much, and I welcome your attendance here. Today we are going to talk and share about chapter 30. On chapter 30, if you first look at it, it's talking about battle. It's talking about force, army troops, which is true. But the profound message that Lao Tzu deliver is that we can look at this chapter in so many aspects. And let's begin our... Giacomo Tienshin, would you like to read this chapter?
Okay.
Thank you.
One who assists a ruler with the principles of Tao doesn't dominate the world with armed force. Actions result in consequences. Where the troops deploy, thorns and brambles spring up. After the large army departs, ominous years will certainly follow. Therefore, the wise person achieves the result, stops, and does not dominate through force. Upon achieving the result, one is not overconfident. Upon achieving the result, one does not boast. Upon achieving the result, one is not arrogant. Upon achieving the result, one has no alternative but to follow. Upon achieving the result, one does not use force. When things grow strong, they quickly age and weaken. This is not following the Tao. Without following the Tao, it soon departs.
Thank you, Giacomo Tienshin, for reading this chapter for us. And I'm going to read the Chinese part. 以道佐人主者，不以兵强天下，其势好还，师之所处，荆棘生焉。大兵之后，必有凶年，故善者果而已，不敢以取强。国而勿惊，国而勿发，国而勿骄，国而不得已，是国而勿强。勿壮则扰，是谓不道，不道则已。And while we are reading this chapter, I would like to highlight to you the most important message in this chapter is in the last section here. But Lao Tzu like to give his introduction first. Everything about this chapter, it looks like there's a war going on. There's the ruler, there's the armed force, the action, and then there's the troops, the throne, and the battle, the army, so many things. And then domination. This chapter emphasizes so much about domination, achieving the result, and you wonder what kind of result is it? And then here it talks about overconfident, not boast, not arrogant, no alternative but follow. So it seems like there's a ruler out there. I mean, here we are talking about Lao Tzu, who was born 2,000 years ago, and he was born in an unsettled time. There is a lot of war going on. So back then, China was not one country. It was comprised of many countries, and all this country are like small in size. Small in size, I would say, consider like the city of Alhambra, the city of San Francisco. So there's in the city of Alhambra, where I am now, there is the city of Monterey Park, Montebello, Los Angeles, Monterey Park. All this are countries, and all this are led by a ruler who want to dominate each other. So Lao Tzu was born in such a time, so much chaos. That's why Lao Tzu wrote several chapters about the war, the battle, the army, the conflict. But the beautiful things about reading Tao Te Ching is that we can read the chapter on the surface level, we can read it in a deep level, and then we can also reflect on our self-cultivation too. So it just depends on which level you are, and we can explore in whatever depth that you want to explore. So in this chapter, of course, on the surface level, it's about a battle, but let's dive into it. On the first line, one who assists a ruler with the principle of Tao does not dominate the world with armed force. Action results in consequence. So this line talks about not a ruler, but the one who assists the ruler. The one who assists the ruler. So who is the one who assists the ruler? We can look at it in this aspect. So here we have a country and we have the ruler, whether it's a king, the emperor, but the person who assists the ruler is the consul, the prime minister, the general, the soldier. Okay, so how can we apply this concept into our Tao cultivation? So who is our ruler? You can pick whatever name you want to use. You can call it the true self, the inner being, the inner Buddha, the inner God, my profound self, or whatever you want to call it. So that's our ruler of this body. So who assists us? Isn't it our sensation, our mind, our thought, our behavior? Because when we think about something from our inner self, we have to channel that message to our mind, and our mind carry out to our behavior, right? So in this case, our mind and the senses is important. Who will be affected by the mind and the senses? Of course, our physical body. It starts from our physical body, and then we manifest outside, and other people get affected. So in terms of Tao cultivation, this aspect is very important. You say, oh no, this chapter has nothing to do with me because I'm not a ruler, I'm not a king. But we all have our ruler inside, right? And who assists us? Our awareness, our consciousness, our mind, and our sensory. Because how can our inner self be achieved without the help from our organ in our physical body? And here, action results in consequence. In other words, in Buddhism, we just use this word karma to sum it up. To sum it up, action results in consequence. So in a Christian term, there's also there's so many messages about action result in consequences. That echoes with the Tao Te Ching, that echoes with the Eastern philosophy. In Leviticus 24:19-20, whomever kill an animal must make restitution, life for life. If anyone injures his neighbor, whatever he has done must be done to him. Fractures for fracture, eye for eye, tooth for tooth. Just as he injured the other person, the same must be inflicted on him. So this kind of teaching is very well reflect on the Eastern philosophy and also the Western philosophy. Or the Western religion, right? Christianity and also the Muslim teaching too. So everything that we do, there will be retribution. After one loses, one will want to fight. Why go into battle? So this retribution we don't need scientific effect to prove it. So retribution is a consequence that will come back. So it's just like if you stand in front of a mirror and then if you scratch your head, of course, the mirror will reflect the image of you scratching the head. And if you beat up somebody, of course, that person will feel angry. That person will want to beat you up too. So there's no, it's very easy to understand. So Lao Tzu's point is that if I fight you, of course you want to fight me. So why get into the fight? So the best way to strategize the armed force is do not stop in the first place. Do not stop in the first place. So if somebody wants to attack you, you will want to only fight back if that's your only resolution. But if you don't need to fight back, then don't fight. We all heard the saying, "Silence is golden," right? Sometimes if we have the temper like water, actually water is the most strong thing on earth because water can penetrate rock, and we all know it. Although rock is very stiff, it's very hard, it looks very strong, but water can penetrate that rock. This two line here. He who does not respect others will not be respected. He who makes unrighteous monetary gain will be taken wrongfully by others later. Isn't it true that when somebody scam us and we feel like we are a victim, but one thing for sure is that this scammer eventually will be scammed. This is just the law of karma. So I don't want you to think about the law of karma as a negative term. Sometimes there will be good karma too. So if we do good things to others, good thing will come to us. So the law of karma is not all bad. It's just we want to think about the law of karma in a very neutral term, because it can go if you input good karma, of course, good consequence will come afterward. If you input the bad action, of course, bad consequence will come afterward. And the question is that the time, sometimes it does not come right away, like the way we expected. Most of us, we want something soon, right? We want something that happens very fast so that we can see, oh, okay, this is karma taking place. But sometimes it doesn't happen right away. It can take times. It can take days, month, year, or sometimes it does not come right away. We have to wait until next life to see, right? Okay, so here we talk about this already. Okay, now let's go to the next one. When the troops deploy, thorns and bramble spring up. After the large army departs, omnibus years will certainly follow. 师之所处荆棘生烟，大兵之后必有凶年。So in this character here, 师, for those who know Chinese, when we look at this word, we think about this word as a teacher. But in the old time, this word, it means the army of troops. And each unit is like 2,500 soldiers. So in this message, it talks about every time when the troops is deployed, there will be a lot of disaster coming, right? The thorn and bramble will spring up at that moment, or weeks, months later. And when a large army departs, bad year will follow, calamity will follow. And why so? Let's see. Okay, so if we talk about this in the country perspective, when the troops arrive, whether it's the army, whether there's a battle going on like the Ukraine and the Russian war going on, the war going on in Israel, Pakistan. So the bramble is the people suffer, and there's a lot of building collapse, right? Building explode. In the recent years of the Ukraine war, there's a lot of historical building being destroyed. So those are the brambles, the thorn that Lao is talking about. And the bad year, of course, it's the family separation. People die. There's no crops, no food. Everything becomes so expensive. People just hunger for life. They are just thriving for life. So it's just beyond our imagination. Let me see if anybody sent chat message. Okay, no. So so much suffering. We don't have to be there, but we understand. So in terms of our health, when the troops arrive, isn't it our mind, when it's disaligned from Tao, we get angry? And when we get angry, be careful. Not just anger. We have judgment, discrimination, resentment, hatred. What happened to our physical body? Our physical body suffer, right? And we might suffer in that moment because we might feel our heart feel tight, our mind feel so much anger, and our frequency suddenly drop in the lowest level. And the bad year is what? Depression, sadness. First, I have to talk about the sadness first. We feel sad for hours later. We feel sad and we cannot sleep at night. We feel sad for so many days. And then eventually we fall into depression, isn't it? And we lose appetite. And we have family separation. So why we brought us into this stage? It must be somebody whom we love so much, whom is in our circle. If it's somebody like a stranger, we wouldn't have so much anger, we wouldn't have so much resentment. Most likely, it's the person who is next to us, who is close to us, who is in our circle. Maybe this person is living with you in the same room, under the same roof, whom you need to share in the restroom. Oh my gosh. Sometimes I hear my father and my father fight about the toothpaste. My father like to squeeze the toothpaste from the end, and my mother just like to squeeze the toothpaste from the middle, anywhere you want. Or sometimes it's just like, you make a big mess in your home, and then the other person say, why don't you clean it up afterward? And I say, can I just clean up after I take a nap? So this kind of thing. So even though we are living together in a family, but our mind is all separated. That's a disaster. And insomnia, loss of life. Sometime we are angry at our parents or somebody, and imagine that person go out of the door, rush out the door, and run into an accident, or somebody have a heart attack afterward. I remember when I was younger, my father was angry at my brother, who is in his 17 or 18. So every time when they get into a fight, my brother drive, and then he will just open the garage door and then back up and then phew, and then go on the street. So very likely accident will happen. So sometimes people lost their life after a big fight. And of course, if you cannot function well, what happened? You cannot hold your job. And, so many things happen. That's the bad years. I have to put an S right here. It's bad years. Yeah, bad years, years of calamity. And in terms of our cultivation, So when the troops arrive, the Buddhism teaching talks about 3 poison, which is greed, aversion, delusion, jealousy, envy, hatred. That basically it does not destroy our inner being. I shouldn't say destroy. It should say pushing in the inner being into the back seat. Because if we consider us as a vehicle, our soul is the driver. So our soul or our essence, our inner God is the driver. We should let our spirit drive us, right? But if we are led by our anger on our mind, so this angry being is in charge of the driving seat. Therefore, our inner self, true self, is thrown into the back seat. What's going to happen? The car will go off the track. We never, never, never want our true self to be in the back seat. The true self supposed to be in the front seat, in the driver's side. Our body, we all hear the saying, our body is the vehicle in this life, which is. So who is in charge? You want to let your true self to be in charge, or you want to let your troops be in charge? So if you want a troop to be in charge, the troops have to listen to the true self. So you can say, okay, I want to have my troops even stay in the passenger seat. But ultimately, we want to have this true self always be on the driver's side. So that our car, our vehicle, can reach to our destination. So in terms of our cultivation, what is the bad year? Bad year is trapped in the cycle of reincarnation. It should be cycles. So who would like to come to this earth again? Who? Raise your hand. Probably not. Nobody want to come here again. Who want to come again? So if we don't want to come again, do not let the troops be in charge of our vehicle. So here a very important message. So when our troops is in charge of our vehicle, and when our mind is misaligned with Tao, what's going to happen? If a train is misaligned, if the train is derailed from the track, what's going to happen? The train will flip. Yeah, the train, whether it's the Amtrak, whether it's the Evergreen, the whatever. So even your car, if you are driving the car on the freeway and if you are off track, accident will definitely happen because you are going to run into somebody. So stay on track is very important. Next line. Therefore, the wise person achieves the result. Stops. After he achieves the result, he will stop and does not dominate through force. Here, I want to talk about the wise person. So for those of you know Chinese, this character, it means goodness. It means morally good. And it means virtue and benevolence. But in this context, it's about wisdom in action. So you have to take action that is wise and to help you to achieve the result. So usually this action, whenever you do it, you don't harm anybody, and you fulfill natural harmony. You balance. You achieve the balance between your family member. You achieve the balance between workplace, and you achieve the balance in terms of your physical body without force and aggression. So so 者 is the person. So when we put these two together, it means Tao cultivator or practitioner. And that is you and me, right? That is you and me. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here. So we are a true Tao cultivator. For a true Tao cultivator, we like to read message literature that resonate with us. And if you are not a Tao cultivator, I'm sure you will not, when you read this book, it will not resonate with you. And the reason we study this book, Tao Te Ching, is because we find this message profound. Therefore, we can proud say to ourselves, we are a Tao cultivator. So parenting is a great example. Sometimes I want to use my husband as an example. My kids, one is 20, the other one is 23. Sometimes they make mistake. If I would make correction on them, I will wait until when they are in a good mood. So if they are not in a good mood, I wouldn't tell them. Sometimes if it's urgent, I tell them right away. But if it's not urgent, I wait until when they are calm or when we can tell from their face. But my husband, he will like, why did you do this? Why did you do this? This is, and then he will go on for 10 or 20 minutes. This is not good. When we want to make a correction on somebody, and if we deliver the message, maybe one time, and maybe we rephrase our preaching second time, I will say that's enough. Because when you go on 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times, that will be too much. And that will be called domination through force. And so in the boss and the employee relationship, sometimes our employer does not know when to stop. And then sometimes in the parenting situation, so we need to make sure once the result is achieved, we stop. Sometimes kids make mistake and we want to prove our point. Hey, you are wrong and I'm right. So once we prove our point, then we stop. So what is wise in action? It means moderation, detachment, and non-attachment. So detachment and non-attachment is just the same thing. So knowing when to stop is very important. The wise do not push beyond necessity. They accomplish what is needed and then withdraw, avoid excessive ambition and domination. This one, it's very difficult to do because sometimes we are in a more superior position. We tend to forget when to stop. So it's important. Number 2, non-interference with the natural law. Overextending control or force disrupt harmony instead of grasping or imposing the wise. So the wise allow things to unfold naturally. So that's why, so let's say there's a battle going on between you and your spouse. And then you say, I'm right and you are wrong. So we know we are right. And the other person, maybe it's misbehave or something. And if they want to keep misbehave, you will probably confront them one more time. And if they don't listen, then first we know when to stop. We stop talk to them. We don't interfere with the natural law. They want to allow their troops to interfere with their life. We should not interfere with the natural law. In other words, if they want to do what they want, go ahead, because you cannot stop them. And this is also true for the parenting situation too. Sometimes we tell kids, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. And then they still doing this, and doing that. We don't want to interfere with the natural law. We just let them be whoever they want to be, because that's how they learn, right? That's how they learn. And that's how we learn too. We learn it from the hard way. A lot of us we reach our mature age and we understand experience is very important. So our kids need to have that experience. Our kids need to know they are just exploring their life and they fall. and after they fall, then they understand their experience. But if we just tell them, they wouldn't have that experience. They will take your word for granted. So sometimes we will just put up our hand. I say, okay, you do whatever you want. So we let them fall and we let them have this kind of experience. And number 3, non-attachment, avoid the trap of ego. Unlike those who seek personal glory, the sage remain humble, understanding the excessive action lead to decline. So sometimes, say, the result has achieved, and we don't want to be trapped in the ego. We don't want to say, oh, well, you are successful because of me. You are doing great because of me. Our family is intact as a family because of me. So this is ego talking. This is ego talking. So when we have our ego control us, it's like having our mind being in the front seat of our vehicle. So what happened? We will alien other people away from us. We will scare people away from us. Talking about friendship, if we have a friend who always put his or her ego first, how would you feel? I'm sure you don't like to be with that kind of friend. We want to stay with somebody who is humble, who is mild, so that's very easy to understand. Sustainably and balance, just as nature operates in cycle, wisdom lies in action, in acting in alignment with Tao and knowing when to let go. So yeah, this is very similar to number 3. Letting go is like when we achieve something, or when we don't when we did not achieve something, we need to learn to let things go. Because if we don't let things go, it's like if we are carrying so much rubble, so much rocks in our pocket. So you say, okay, I can carry 1 rock, I can carry 2 rock, maybe you can carry 10 rock. But as life go on, you keep collecting rocks, 100 rocks, 1,000 rocks. How much can you carry? Remember, our flight to heaven is our flight to heaven. You cannot take any luggage. You don't want to take any luggage. You don't want to take any ego with you. You don't want to take attachment with you. Those attachment, those ego, those little pebble, little rock, those bravo, they are your luggage. So I'm sure when we die, we want to fly high. So if we have any rock, it's going to weigh us down. So Lao Tzu said, a wise person achieve the result, whether this result is what you want or not. We don't want to dominate through force, because sometimes the result is not good. We want to still have that control. So having that control is also a luggage too. We don't want any luggage, no luggage. So let's start from our mind first. No luggage, no discrimination, no judgment, no preference. So just easy going, okay? So the last line, let's read it. This teaching aligned with Taoist principle, or Wu Wei. Effortless action, acting without force, and allowing life to unfold naturally. So in our last slide, we will talk about this more. The next one, upon achieving the result, one is not overconfident. Upon achieving the result, one does not boast. Upon achieving the result, one is not arrogant. Upon achieving the result, one has no alternative but to follow. Upon achieving the result, one does not use force. So here Lao Tzu basically, he just reiterate the same message again. And for those of you who know Chinese, this 3 character, it's all about arrogance, but in a different degree. So the first one is overconfidence. Overconfidence is more about ourselves. That has nothing to do with others. For example, the sense of pride. I'm so good. I'm so good. I'm the best. I'm the best. I'm very talented. And I feel superior. So Lao Tzu say, once you achieve the result, you don't want to have that sense of pride, and because it's called overconfident, over pride. And the second one is boastful and about achievement. It's displaying to other people. It's to tell other people. So the first one is inner pride. It's internal. The second one is external. You brag to other people. Hey, I'm so good. I'm so good. The result is achieved because of me. So this is the second word. Boastful about achievement, actively display one's success to other, emphasizing self-credit in an external way at the expense of other people, to put other people down. So the third one, it's a combination of the first one and the second one, but in a more excessive way. So Lao Tzu say, okay, we don't want to fall into this 3 trap. And the last one, when you achieve the result, it's only you have to do it with no alternative. You have to do it. Say, you have to do it. For example, there's somebody coming to your house. They try to burglarize you. They try to steal something. So what do you need to do? You have to protect yourself. There's no other way. Of course, you have to stand up yourself. So you will now your sensory, your mind is in the mode of fight or flight. So you have to fight. So this is the great example, no alternative but to follow. But once the result is achieved, one does not use force. Yeah, so once the result is achieved, you don't overdo it. In keeping the society in peace, police force is needed. In Tao Te Ching, Lao Tzu talk about Wu Wei, but he rarely talk about You Wei. But You Wei is everywhere in Tao Te Ching. In order to keep the society in peace, so having that peace is Wu Wei. But in order to keep in peace, some kind of action must be taken, and that is Your Wei. That's why we have this police. Police is called police together. They carry this armed force. They have this helmet. They have this pepper spray. They have to use force. So armed force must be taken to reach to the state of peace. So Your Wei is needed to achieve to the state of Wu Wei. So in cultivation, how can we apply this one into our cultivation when one has little achievement, which is very easy because we all have this kind of experience. Sometimes we accomplish something, whether it's in our job, maybe something, or maybe some housework or some kind of emotional achievement. Say, hey, I overcome my ego. We do not self-assert. We do not brag. Now, we come to the most important message of this chapter. Here we go. When things grow strong, they quickly age and weaken. This is not following the Tao. Without following the Tao, it soon departs. 物壮则老，是谓不道，不道则已. So I want to talk about this character here. This character here. On the surface, it's about things and objects. Things and object. Here, Lao Tzu talks about the physical object, almost make up of some kind of material. Can we think of anything that grows strong and they quickly age and weaken? So this line here, Lao Tzu talk about something grows strong without following the natural law. For example, commercial broiler chicken. So how long is chicken lifespan? 10 years, 20, 12 years? But for the commercial chicken, their lifespan is like, first of all, they are being, they grow up in the commercial factory where there's light always on them. The light is always on them because it helps them to stimulate growth. And then they are constantly being injected with growth hormone. So they are being grown too strong, right? Too soon, not following the cycle. And what happened to them? They are prone to health problem. Their body become weakened, their leg are weakened, and they suffer from disease. We all know that recently we have this bird flu. The eggs become very expensive. So this is what happened when the commercial farmer raised the chicken without following the natural law. But what can they do? They are just there making money. They want the chicken to grow as fast as they can, right? So what can you do? What can you do? You can decide, I don't want to eat it, because think about it. If you eat the chicken, what happened to you? The chicken grows so fast in about 1 month into adulthood, and whether either they are being sold for meat consumption or egg purpose, either way it's bad for us, because keep in mind, the chicken, they inject the growth hormone. And what happens if we consume the chicken? We are also consuming the growth hormone. Now let me give you a question. Who like to grow old fast? Who like to age fast? If you like to age fast, go ahead, consume the commercial product. Whether here we are not just talking about chicken, we are not just talking about beef, we are not just talking about pork, we are talking about every things. What about fish too? Fish, chicken, beef, and chicken. If you want to age faster, if you want to, this one we don't need, I don't need to prove to you because it makes sense, right? Commercial farmer, that's what they are into. So another great example is that I go to 24-hour fitness. Sometimes I see some young men, they have this big muscle. They consume steroid, right? So when they consume steroid, they want to gain their muscle, but a lot of them would die in their mid-age. Like the athlete, they die in their age of 20 or late 20 or 30. So after they consume for a period of time, their body become deteriorated because of this steroid. So to enable their muscle to grow strong. So Lao Tzu is talking about grow strong, not a natural way. It's an unnatural way. Today's overuse of strength imply tomorrow's decline. Anyone seeking progress should aim to keep things in their growth phase. Continuously focus on true self, hence maintaining youthful energy. Do you know that when you focus, or I should say, when you align yourself to your true self most of the time, you are less likely, well, I will say that you will slow down the aging process because you are aligning yourself with your spirit and your soul. Our soul is everlasting. Our soul, it goes continuously. Our soul doesn't age. Our soul does not have an end. It does not have a beginning, nor does it have an end. So when you are allowing your true self to drive your vehicle of this body, you will age slower. However, on the other hand, if you have your mind um, drive you, and when your mind drive you so strong, you allow your sensation to drive you, your emotion to drive you. When I say emotion, I mean the emotion that 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 let you off the track. Because some emotion are good. We can have the loving emotion, happy emotion, and joyful emotion. But the emotion that's misaligned from Tao is what? Resentment, discrimination, judgment, hatred, those kind of emotion. When you have that kind of emotion dominate your vehicle or your body, of course, your mind is in the driver's seat and your soul is in the trunk. Then, of course, our body is out of balance. Our body will move towards to this mind side. Then our body will start to deteriorate. So maintaining this youthful energy is possible. It is possible. Keep in mind, we always talk about we need to balance our mind, body, and soul. So here is our body we all have. So our body can go either way. We can age faster or we can age slower. So if we want to age slower, we want to tilt to the side of soul. But if we want to age faster, we allow our anger to drive us. So in other words, if you want to have a youthful energy, the best way is align your life to Tao, align your life to God, align your life to your inner voice. In our self, we have this intuition. Everything when we do, we ask ourselves. I'm sure you do this all the time. Do you sometimes talk to yourself? Am I doing this right? What did I do wrong? What should I do? So I encourage you to have this kind of a conversation with yourself when you are alone. When the thunder is over, when the chaos is over, when you are by yourself, you ask yourself, am I doing this right? And you talk to your inner self. Am I doing right? So the question will be clear. The question is clear and the answer is clear. And if the answer is not clear, I have a trick. Instead of talking to myself, I need something in front of me. I will ask Buddha, as if Buddha is right in front of me, as Jesus is right in front of me. I have to admit, there was one time I went to the ATM, and then there was an old man in front of me. And then this old man withdrew some cash. And then this old man left. And now it's my turn. I go to the ATM. And then I saw in the ATM machine, there's $100 left. And I say, okay, there's $100. And the man already left. So I said to myself, no, I did not say to myself. It was an instinct. I say, okay, the man already left. If the man is here, I will return the money. But he already left. How am I going to find him, right? So I took the money. So everything becomes so clear. Everything becomes so right. But then years later, I think about that incident. I say, oh my God, I should have done better. I should have returned to that bank afterward. And then I tell the bank, I was here on a certain time, certain day, and there was a man in front of me, and this is my transaction. Would you return the money to that man. But I did not do that. So sometimes when things happen afterward, we can make correction on ourselves. Tao cultivation, it's a journey of correction. We keep correcting ourselves. We keep revising our plan. So sometimes we will be off track. We will not be on track all the time because we are human. We are not perfect. We will not be on track all the time. We try to be on track. But we can say that in the old time, when we are younger time, when we were like inexperienced, immature, a lot of time we are off track. But now we want to, it's our goal to be on track most of time. So it's through correction, it's through revision, we become better. So this is Tao cultivation. Tao cultivation is a journey. So in this chapter, Lao Tzu talk about this character, force, strength many times. So this is also strength too, and also here. So when things grow too strong, so Lao Tzu again here is talking about when you use your mind excessively, not according to Tao, it will cause interference on the true self. And that is this side here. So all this is our false power. So that is when you grow too strong. Too strong, say you want to have lots of money, have material wealth, dominating other, physical strength, being famous, always be right, manipulating other, not expressing any emotion, being tough. And on the other side is the true self or the true power. And this is what we're supposed to align ourselves with. Being conscious and self-aware, being able to heal within, show love and compassion, being able to forgive, being a safe place for others, listening to your intuition, shifting anger into love, letting yourself feel emotion. So all this is helping us to align with our true self, because our true self is everlasting, and if we can follow the concept of aligning ourselves with Tao, then we are practicing Wu Wei, and Wu Wei is not interference with the true self. Everything right here is interference with the true self. Interference with true self. So there will be times that we find ourselves, hey, I'm interfere with my true self. And as long as we pull ourselves back to the track, then we will be okay. So it's very important we are constantly aware. Am I on the right track? Am I off track? Am I am I following the Tao? Am I causing interference? Okay, so here is our last slide, and I find this slide very helpful for me because over the course of years, I had difficult time understanding how can we use Your Wei and Wu Wei. So here I make a diagram. So Wu Wei, it means action. It's something that you have to do. Your Wei, I'm sorry, did I say it right? Your Wei, it means yes action, that you have to do something. Wu Wei means no action, no interfere with the true self. So if you are doing something to achieve the goal of Wu Wei, then that's okay. Lao Tzu's teaching is mostly about Wu Wei, but he does not mention how to incorporate Your Wei into Wu Wei. So let's look at the first line here. Your Wei comes before Wu Wei. In other words, you have to perform an appropriate action, then don't do anything, then everything will be done for you. The second one, for example, when someone attends an interview for a job, the interview is Your Wei. So Your Wei is that when you know you have an interview coming up, You have to prepare for your interview. You have to do your homework. And once you prepare, then you let Wu Wei take over. He does not worry whether he has say right or wrong. He does not worry how the interviewer will interpret his answer. He does not worry whether he will get his job. He done his best. So it's no action. You do what you have to do, and then afterward you just relax, because Wu Wei is consider after you done your part, then you leave everything to God, knowing fully well God will take care of his best for you. But you have to help yourself by helping you. You have to help God first to help you yourself first. So isn't that true for everything? In life, we always have to do what we need to do first, and then we wait and see for the result. If I want to buy a house, maybe I put an offer on the house, and then I wait and see if I get a house or not. If somebody bid a higher price, then I say, okay, then I don't get a house. If I get a house, that's great. So this is the part of no action. And then say if you are dating somebody, if you are dating somebody and you do your best to be yourself, and if that person want to engage with you, then it's up to them. You just follow the flow. Isn't it right? The third example, if you want to invite your friend over for a dinner, the invitation is Wu Wei, because you have to make that invitation, you have to create that effort. So after you have done your Wu Wei, you let Wu Wei, I'm sorry, did I say it wrong? The invitation is your way. Having done your way, you let Wu Wei take over. You don't have to worry how your friend will arrive, whether they will bring their wife with them, or whether it's rain or night, whether they can come or not, whether they come late. So sometimes if they come late, sometimes the host become worry or say, why you come late? You disrespect me. So whatever they do is their problem, and you let them enjoy and solve the problem. So it's their choice whether they come late or not. But our part is to invite them over. So that will be the concept of how to incorporate Wu Wei into Your Wei. The last one, which is I would say the most important one. About sutra reciting, ritual and worship, because in our temple we do this sutra reciting, and we have the morning ritual and the afternoon ritual. I mean the arrival ritual, departure ritual, and then there's the morning ritual, and then there's the worship. This considered Wu Wei. This is considered Your Wei. This is considered Your Wei for the purpose of Wu Wei. If whatever you do is for the purpose of Wu Wei is to follow the natural law, is to align yourself with true self. So if you do the sutra reciting, the ritual, the worship, it's an action that allow you to align yourself to true self. That is wonderful. So of course, sutra reciting, ritual, and worship is good. But if it's something that interfere with your true self, then it's not Wu Wei. Say somebody's mind is very tense. I'm so depressed, I'm so worried, very tense. And without chanting the sutra, I become unsettled. However, when I start to chant sutra, I become peaceful. And over the course of year, I realized that my mind becomes stable, and I no longer need to chant sutra. So this is a great example that you use chanting sutra as your way to achieve the state of Wu Wei. Now, does everybody need to do this? No. If you can reach the peaceful state of Wu Wei, then you don't need to do this. However, if you find it very helpful, then you do it. Some people, they reach to the state of Wu Wei by going to a mountain, by doing some reading. Like me, I like to read Tao Te Ching. I like to read the Buddha's scripture that help me to reach to the state of Wu Wei, and that's okay. Here, I have a diagram. So Wu Wei, imagine Wu Wei is considered hiking the Himalayas mountain. So there's a mountain that you want to hike, and this is the peaceful state, and this is the state of enlightenment, and this is the state of spirituality, state of enjoyment. So you have to go there. You have to go there. But how can you go there? Some people can just fly. But even for fly, you have to buy a ticket. You have to fly. Some people like to walk. Some people like to take the bus. And some people like to take different way. And even if you want to take a hike to the top of the Himalaya mountain, how many ways are there? There's millions of ways. Millions of ways. So maybe my way is good for me, but it does not apply for you. Whatever way is good for you, but does not apply for me. So here I want to talk about Christianity. In the Christian teaching, they say, do not worship the idol. They say in the Eastern religion, they worship the idol. That's what they think. But they cannot use this thing to control everybody, because the Asian population, they just love to worship. They find the ritual and the worship help them to reach to the state of Wu Wei, and that's wonderful. So can you tell everybody that, oh, look, ritual is not good, worship is not good, we just go sit in the church and we just pray, and this is how we pray? There's millions of people on earth, billions of people on earth. There's no one way for everybody. Everybody have their way. Everybody have their way. So how can you just use one way to apply for everybody? So again, this is chapter 30. Lao Tzu talk about do not allow things to grow too strong. So here talks about our mind. Do not persist. Do not control. Sometimes we insist on our ideology. Sometimes we insist on I'm right, you are wrong. It's okay. Just let it go. Let it go. I want to say special thank to the PPT editor, Robert M. Jenko. He's not here today. He is the author for Tao Te Ching and Intuitive Interpretation. He helped me to edit this slide for today. So I want to say special thank to him. If mistakes were made or said during today's sharing, I ask for forgiveness from the Heavenly Mother, Buddha Maitreya, Jigong Buddha Patriarch, Situn Simu, Grandmaster and Senior Masterly and Junior Masterly, to allow me to have this opportunity to host this session. Thank you so much. Thank you.